Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm here with day 3 of the 12 Days of Christmas, hosted by Rosa Kelly's Scrapbooking here on YouTube. I am joined by Deborah, Debbie, who's Deborah's Creative Life, and Kimmy, who is Salty Beach Scrapper. Make sure you like and comment on all of our videos and you will be entered into prize drawings on all 4 channels, guys. So you could win 4 times if you're a lucky duck. Anyway, today's project is Ornament, and of course I had to do a box. And first I was going to do this little ornament here. It's super cute, but my paper cracked and I didn't really like how it looked. And so Kimmy said, why don't you do a snowman box? So she said my favorite B word, my second favorite B word. She said boxes. So we are going to make this ornament. And what I love about this ornament is that it is also a snack holder. Guys, you know how I am with snacks. So you put your little snack or whatever you have in there, and you can do all of the boxes. Put another one in there. Even the tiny one, you could if you didn't tie your ribbon on. And actually, even the hat, if you gently open it, you can put the tiniest little gumball or something in the hat as well. So you can open all of these. You can make them open to the side. You can make it open to the front and back, or whatever you want, you can do. So we're going to go ahead and make these. Now, as I was making this, I thought I was recording the tutorial, but the lie detector determined I was not. So I already wrote the measurements down. This is my box template book. So I'm just going to show you real quick how I figured out the measurements, because these are super easy boxes for people to learn how to make a paper box on their own. So it's the same template. I'm going to show you. I'll use 2 different color inks. So we're going to go ahead and make the head, okay? I'll use pink and turquoise. So we're gonna make this box right here, the head, okay? So how you use the template, you need to know what size you want your box. I wanted a 1-inch box, so I know it's 1 inches thick by 1 inches high. By the width, depth, and length, all of them are 1 inches. So I already know that I need this to be 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. That's going to be your corners for your depth. Everything's 1 inch, so this one is so easy. 1 inch, 1 inch. And the flaps, or the closure flap, which is this piece right here that actually closes your box, that's the only thing that's not 1 inch. That's going to be in 1/2 inch. Okay, so that's how I got those measurements. That is it. So now you just need to math. So you need to math your left to right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and it's 1 inch up and down. So I need to math my up and down numbers here, which is 1, 2, 3 plus a half, so 4. Okay, that's how I figure it out. And then you go on your long side where you need to score, which you're going to look at your color pen, and my long side is the blue pen. Excuse me. So I'm going to go here. So I need 1 inch, add 1 to 1, 2, add another 1, 3, and 4. So that's this score line, this score line, this score line, this score line. Excuse me, good Lord. My short side, I know I need a 1/2 inch plus another inch to close that. So then when I'm done, when I'm actually measuring it out, I will write the other 2 score marks for the bottom if you're using a scoreboard. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the box. So here is his head, his the middle, the base, and the hat. I will have all of these measurements in the description box for you. So let's go ahead We're going to start from the bottom. Well, you can either start from the top or the bottom. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to follow how I wrote it in my book. And I started with the head. So the head is a 1x1 box. So you need a piece of paper that measures 5x4. I'm just following my box right here. So 5x4. You need your scoreboard or your paper trimmer. I prefer my paper trimmer. I did pull out my scoreboard for a different project because it was easier to use my scoreboard. So we can do that. All right, on your 5x4 paper on the long side, you want to score it at 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Rotate it to the short side. You're going to score it at 1/2 inch, 1.5, 2.5, and 3.5. So that's why I always write the last two measurements, because on a scoreboard, it's easy just to do all 4 lines instead of doing 1/2 inch, 1.5, and then rotating it 1/2 inch and 1.5. So that's what I was on about. Okay, so this box is a little tricky because it's so small. Wait till we do the hat. It's even smaller. All right, same formula that I do for the majority of my boxes. Starting position, put that 1/2 inch score line at the top. So basically, this one, put your paper the long ways, or this 5 on the top, 4 on the side. And we do not need the top 4 boxes. We do not need the bottom 4 boxes on the right. So cut those completely off. You can use a paper trimmer to cut it if you want. I don't. Okay. And I'm going to cut a little bit off this box, and I'm going to miter it. That's just kind of cutting out the bulk. Okay. So we have something that looks like this. Now we're going to cut up vertically on the score line. Cut off roughly half. Miter and miter. Cut up the score line, cut it in half, miter, miter. What you do on the bottom, you need to rotate and do on the top. Cut up the score line, cut off half, miter, and miter. Okay, and cut up the score line, cut off half, and miter, and miter. Okay, put it back to starting position. Excuse me. Oh, I always forget to tell you, we need a corner round. Corner round your little middle flap. I call it the middle finger flap because it makes me laugh. So just rounding that like that. Now we're just going to go ahead and varnish all of our lines. This one's a little tricky because it's so small. I'm going to cut off more of my bulk. You do not have to do this step. But you have to varnish. The key to a beautiful box is varnishing. Okay, you can varnish before or after you cut. It honestly doesn't matter. It's just your preference. Right. Okay. So back to starting position. Fold your piece in. Glue her down. And fold over. Let your glue dry, which is the hardest part for me. Okay. And there is your box. So go ahead and put your flaps in close it. It may give you a little bit of resistance, but just, you know, gently force it, or you can cut a little sliver off. All right, so there's that. All right, so let's do his middle body. And so you need a piece of cardstock that is 6 1/4 by 4 3/4. Again, the measurements are on the description box. On the long side, we're going to score it at 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 3 3/4, and 5. Okay, rotate it to the short side. We're going to do a 1/2 inch, 1 3/4, 3, 3/4, 3 3/4. Sorry. No, I'm lying to you. So 3 and then 4 1/4. Again, the correct measurements are in the description box. So 1/2 inch, 1 3/4, 3 and 4 1/4. I got confused between my long and short. Sorry. Okay. So again, we're going to do the same thing. The 4 boxes on the bottom. These ones look a little bit different because now we have little rectangles. So it's the same. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. Cut those off. And what you do to the top, you need to do to the bottom. And vice versa. Yes, I'm losing my voice. So if you hear me coughing and clearing my throat, I'm losing my voice. All right, I'm going to cut off just a little bit of the bulk and miter. This is my closure flap. I'm going to cut up the vertical score lines to this. I'm going to cut off half. I'm going to miter and miter. Probably should use the smaller scissors for these, but I don't like the way my little scissors feel. That's the main thing. Rotate it, do the same thing. Cut up the score line. Cut off half. Miter and miter. Cut up the score line. Cut off half. And miter and miter. Okay, round your flap. I use the 1/4 inch side. All right. And clean your mat and burnish. Now, if you are using pattern paper or, yeah, I guess designer paper, pattern paper, you're just going to have to, well, I'll get to that. I'll show you that. I will use pattern paper for the hat, and I will tell you what I was just about to say. Okay. I did not burnish all my lines. Whoa. Especially for the little boxes, you have to burnish because they are not really forgiving. Fold your flap in, glue, and fold. The good thing about these boxes, you can fold them flat, and so you can make a bunch of them, like when you're on your lunch break at work, or you're at the doctor's office, or sitting at the airport, whatever. You can make a bunch of them and just fold them flat and put them in like a Ziploc, and you're good to go. Or you're, you know, sitting there waiting at Taekwondo practice or whatever. All right, there's that one. Excuse me. All right, so the base box, 7.5 by 5.5. Again, the measurements will be in the description box. Long side, we're going to score it at 1.5, 3, 4.5, and 6. I learned that for the Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer, you have to open that arm to do 6, or it is slightly off and it will mess you up. Alright, so short side, 1/2 inch. Two. 3.5. And 5. Okay. Same method. Bottom 4 boxes, top 4 boxes. Once you're used to making boxes, it's only going to take you like less than like 5 minutes to make a box. So you can make a bunch of these. I'm just going super slow so I can meet the needs of all levels of crafters. Sometimes I forget to go slow, but today I'm okay. Okay, and alright. And when you're cutting off your tab, those are tucked inside the box, and so I wouldn't worry about if it's straight or if they're exactly even. Just kind of eyeball it. If you have, you know, one of the things where everything has to be exact, then go ahead and use your ruler and cut off as much as you want and make it straight. It's up to you. Okay. Corner, and you can corner around when the box is already made. I do that a lot because I forget to corner around. Alright, we're at varnishing stage. And like, you can do these in assembly line, like do all of the head boxes first and just score them all, cut the paper to the side, and then the next day score them all, and then the next day cut them all and put it, you know, and glue the tab, and then work on the next size box. So you can, you know, get a bunch of them done in a little bit of time. Really? My glue. Okay. Okay. I don't know what it was stuck in there, but something was. Okay. Rub that glue in. Let it dry. I put a little bit too much because it came out in that glob. Okay. Fold in, and there we go. So we have our base, we have our middle, we have our head. Now we just need to make his tiny little hat. This is what I was about to say. So the hat, oh, I just stuck my hand in glue. The hat is made from a pattern paper, and so whichever side you want to show, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna make the score marks on the green side because it'll be easier for you to see, but I'm gonna show you how you can do the hat. You can, you know, either side. Okay, so the hat piece measures 3 3/4 by 3 1/4. So you're going to score it at 3/4 on the long side. Make sure. Okay. So 3 3/4 on the long side, 1 1/2, excuse me, 2 1/4. Man, now I got the hiccups, seriously. And 3. Then you're going to score it at 1/2 on the short side. We're now on the short side. So 1/2 inch and 1 1/4, 2 and 2 3/4, 2 and 3. Okay, so the side that you want showing, you want to put that facing down. I couldn't remember which way, so that's why I waited until I actually did the scoring. If you accidentally do your scoring on the side that you want, it doesn't matter, to be honest, because I tell you starting position just because it's easier for me to explain that in the tutorial, but starting position is not an absolute. So if you have your paper like this, I'll show you. Again, same concept. Cut off the top 4 boxes, the bottom 4 boxes, cut up the score line, cut off 1/2, miter, miter, cut up the score line, cut off 1/2, miter, miter. Do the same thing, cut up the score lines, cut off 1/2, miter, miter. Cut up 1/2, miter, miter. Okay. Keep these pieces for right now. Just push them over to the side. All right. This is all I was saying with all the gibberish that probably confused you. I'm sorry. It's how I talk. I talk in circles. So this is what I typically say is starting position, right? But when you fold it all up, the plaid side is going to be showing, right? What if you wanted the green side to show? But you have it like this, and you're like, dang, starting position is here. Here you go. If you want the green side showing, flip your box over and flip your piece in and flip that over. It is fine if you are not in starting position. I just use starting position as just a way to explain the box to you. You can make the box either side. It doesn't matter. You know, if you want your starting position to be this, then do this. You know, it really doesn't matter. I just use starting position as a reference because that's how I learn. When I was learning how to make boxes, excuse me, the people that I follow, they would hold their paper like so many different ways, and I would have to figure it out. And then when I started making boxes and teaching boxes, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make one way the standard, and that's why I said that starting position. Most of my boxes are made out of cardstock, so it doesn't matter because it's the same color on both sides. But if you want a box that has a pattern, you could either put the pattern that you want showing face down so you can have regular starting position, or don't care and just do it the opposite way. If that confused the mess out of you, I am so sorry. Just reach out. Alright, same thing. Just fold that flap over, fold this over, let it dry. This is Echo Park Christmas Time Flora. Is it Echo Park or Cardabella? Cardabella. My bad. Cardabella. Same company, I think. Okay, put your little flaps in. Oh, see? I didn't round my corners. You don't have to round your corners. It's just easier if you do. If you round the corners or miter a little bit, for me, I found that rounding is the perfect amount off, so I don't have to figure it out with my scissors. Okay, so we're just going to do this. Okay, so that's it. Now, you need to decide two decisions. If you have it to where your flaps can still open, if you want to put snacks in there, then you're going to have this little bit of gaps, okay? So you need to decide if you want your gaps on the left and right, or you can put it on the top and bottom, like, you know, make the flaps the top and the bottom, or however you want. So just whatever makes you feel better. For me, I did not care, but some people, they care. If you don't want any gaps at all because you're going to do a 360, then you can actually just glue your flaps in there. Like, you just put some glue right here and put it in the box, and your boxes will not open, but you also will not have gaps. So that is up to you. This one, I will make the what do you call these things? I will make the flaps the top and the bottom. Alright, so here's your base box, and here is your middle box. Where's my flap? Here's my flap. Just center it the best you can. It'll give you about 1/8 of an inch all around. I have bad shadows. I can't see anything. Okay. Oh no. Don't do that. Don't smush your box in. I think that's why I put my flaps to the side, because I kept smushing the box in. It's easy to fix. Okay. Now go ahead and take your 1-inch box, which is your head. Apply glue. Glue it down, tape it down, whatever you have. Hey, a little crooked. That's okay. Oh, fun, look, because now I can open it from the bottom like that. I like that. Oops. That one wasn't dry yet. Okay, how I get the shimmery front is I actually use Nuvo drops, and I just squeezed them out there and I rubbed it on there. Okay, it was a happy accident because I grabbed the wrong color to make the buttons, and so I had to smear it off. But I think it looks great. Oh my gosh. See, I did it again. This is why I had the flaps going left and right, because I am not gentle on anything. So I'm not a gentle crafter, and I'm impatient. I don't want to wait for the glue to dry. Alright, and his hat. Same thing. So you can make the snowman any size box you want. Just follow the template, you know, do your measurements. Okay, this brim was just to cut off this little piece. That's why I told you not to throw this away. If you still have this little piece, I just literally cut about, I don't know, like 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch. I think it's like 1/4 of an inch. And I just glued it to the front of the box. Easy peasy. I don't do any hard crafting, guys. I do not. It may look hard and impressive, but it's not hard. Definitely impressive, but not hard. Alright. So you can tie your scarf. I just used some copper ribbon. Oh, you know what I forgot? The hanging tool. Right. So thankfully we had our flaps going to the top and the bottom, so I can just cut a hole in there. It's drying, but that's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and open my flap, and take a scissor or your pokey tool, whatever you have, and just kind of poke a hole in the middle. And then take your length of ribbon, whatever you want. I had a piece of ribbon that was on the floor that I didn't want to waste. Oh, that's too short. Alright, just take a length of ribbon, tie just like a knot in the bottom. This ribbon's kind of hard to work with. It's a metallic ribbon. That's all I got. Okay, and now you're just going to take that little folded top and push it through. Now, this first one, I did forget to put the ribbon in and my flaps were on the side. So I had to do the same exact thing. It's just you're going to go through the side instead of through the top. So don't worry if you forget the ribbon. It'll work out in the end, I promise. Alright, so just fold this and get it in there. I just use a pokey tool to pull it through. But of course when you're on camera, nothing wants to work. Alright, so see how you have like your knot stops? Now just close your box back up. There you go. And you're good to go. Okay. That's it. So for instance, this one, because my flap was on the side, I think the flap was on the side. No, flap's on the back. All I did was open it. Yes, my fingers are too big, so I have to use a pokey tool. And I went like this. I took my scissors, made that hole the same thing, took the ribbon and fed it through the same way. So it doesn't matter if you're, preferably you remember to do it before you glue your box down. But if you don't, it's fine. Alright, so I love how this one opens like this. I love that. And I don't want to fold that one because it's still wet. Okay, so decorate it accordingly. I used that other piece. Actually, I think I just cut that same cut line and I stuck that down there. And I tied the ribbon onto the snowman. And then I used some copper Nouveau drops to make his little buttons. I did not put a face on there because I did try to put a face, but it kind of creeped me out. So there is no face, which usually no face creeps me out more than weird face. But yeah, I was good with no face. So y'all know what it's supposed to be. If you have like a Jaded Blossom stamp, Jaded Blossom has a snowman face stamp set, so that'd probably be really cute to stamp on there. If you're good at drawing, you know, drawing the little cute little sassy snowman faces, by all means do that. I didn't have either, so okay. That's all I did. And then just snip it to the length you desire. There you go. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.